Hey Libra, welcome to your February 2020 love and intimacy readings. I normally do just general readings. I don't typically focus on love unless that's what comes through. But for this month, since it's February, I figured I would do love and intimacy readings for Valentine's Day. So this is going to be for Libra sun, moon, rising, and or Venus. So if you do know your other placements, I suggest you maybe listen to those as well if this one does not resonate with you and you're a Libra, because other planetary placements might resonate with you more. Also, if you are a Libra moon, rising, or Venus, this could definitely apply to you as well. So just, if you're watching this, you're meant to. And so take what resonates with you and throw away what doesn't. I am going to get started. I'm going to be using my Psychic Tarot for the Heart Oracle deck, just because it's, Valentine's Day coming up. These are like they're not a traditional tarot deck, but they are kind of based after the original tarot deck. So they are numbered like the tarot, but it's a little different. So let's go ahead for our Libra, sun, moon, rising, Venus. Let's see what is ahead for you for February 2020, Libra. Change your focus. I feel like if you've been at your wit's end with certain relationships in your life. Now remember, love and intimacy readings, those can be about any kind of connection that's heart to heart. It doesn't always have to be romantic, so it don't necessarily pigeonhole that thinking into the romance department only, because this could be like work. If somebody you're close with at work, it could be a sibling, it could be a parent, a very good friend, anybody you have an intimate connection with, like not physically intimate necessarily, but like emotionally intimate, okay? So, change your focus, that jumped out. I feel like that could be like you maybe have been focusing really, really hard on a specific connection in your life. Yeah. And, wanting to talk, wanting to speak, wanting to kind of get things out on the table, hash things out, matters of the heart. But 2 5s already on the board. So 5s are usually like challenges. And as I'm saying this, my throat feels like it's clogging up a little. So that's definitely the throat chakra at work here. So this is like changing your focus to be able to speak about what's important and not necessarily by focusing on something that could be like if you're involved in a connection, a relationship, a friendship, whatever, and you're feeling like a lot of you could be like stuck on something that happened in the past, but it's not really gonna produce growth in the relationship for you to bring that up. So try to focus on the stuff that like happened recently or the really significant stuff. Like for example, when we have people in our lives that do things that irritate us, a lot of times we can like gloss over the bad because there's a lot of good. And this could be one of those situations where you may have to do that with something specific. Now, I'm not saying with everything, because there is a need for you to be speaking up in your relationships, Libra. But changing the focus to make it be only those things of most significance right now, not to go back into the past and rehash old storylines, okay? Now is not the time for that. You will be able to speak, but as long as you don't go back to the past, I feel like you could have like a good, positive conversation and outcome. Yeah, wow, look at that. Cards are confirming it, coming together. It really will help mend the relationship by just taking that one, like shifting that focus and not bringing things up from the past, because this does feel like a very heart-centered connection with a lot of love and respect and admiration. That maybe one little blunder could be being held in as a resentment, and that needs to go. That needs to be expressed. It might cause, it's so interesting. As I'm doing these readings, I've noticed like the numbers are so repetitive for everybody, not just for you. So look at this. You've got 5, and I shuffle. Before I even start taping, I shuffle and clear, and then I shuffle again. So here we've got at 3 5s here. You've got, okay, 5s are always about like challenges, obstacles, bringing us to higher ground for growth. And then 2s are like balance and partnership and coming together. So really, through your challenges, through your sleepless nights or things that you've been fussing over and trying to get right, by actually being able to speak up about the things that are significant now, you're really going to come together. And I feel like your relationships are going to get like a new spring in their step. I can just see like you out to dinner on or around Valentine's Day. I don't know if you go out to dinner for Valentine's Day, but on or around Valentine's Day, like being out to dinner with this person and just like having the right lead in and being able to say, I really didn't appreciate when this happened, but I really appreciated when you did this. And by just doing that, it's like it just kind of brings things together and it feels positive, and you're like embracing like each other's uniqueness. For a lot of you, this could be like a new connection that gave you some, angst in the beginning because you felt like, oh my gosh, there's so much I want to say, and am I saying too much? And now you're feeling like you finally will be feeling like this sigh of relief because you'll get some clarity about something that you were really focused on but didn't want to ask maybe, but the communication is going to come into for you, and you'll be so happy, and you'll really feel like things are coming together finally. Yeah. And then you're finding balance and owning up to your power here and opening up, and this is really good. I mean, as long as you are not holding back, but also not focusing on insignificant details, I think that this could be like a really positive month for you with your relationships, Libra, especially with one in particular. One very intimate relationship that it feels like it might be fairly new actually for a lot of you. Like a fairly new one where things are coming to the surface for you to talk about. It feels like it could be very healing. I feel like some of you are like involved in a very deep soul connection that feels like very, very challenging at times because it brings up a lot of stuff from the past. A lot of childhood stuff, which tends to happen in soul connections. They do mirror things back to us. And this feels like a lot of that coming in right now. And if you kind of flow into it and allow the other person to speak without you pushing, I really feel like there's a great, there's a joy in there for you. So it's like almost like each crisis could push you higher. That's what I feel. So if you stick with this connection, I do feel like there's a lot for you to learn here. And for some of you, this could be a friendship. It could be like a new work connection. It doesn't have to be romantic, but it feels like there's a lot for you to learn through this other person and them you. So by embracing the differences between the two of you and discussing them in a rational manner that's balanced and not focusing on the insignificant parts of it, I really feel like a lot of growth can occur here for both parties. Yeah, look at this. You're teaching each other a lot about, mastering your heart connections. And, for some of you, it might have been that you were really hurt, deeply, deeply hurt in the past. And so a part of you, look, another 5, look at this, shutting off your heart a little bit. And then this person comes in and like really blows it open and it freaks you out. Like on one level, you love it, right? It's exciting. And then you kind of close the book because you get nervous. So this could be about like having to open up about the past, opening up about the past and discussing the last situation, but being honest about it, and don't feel embarrassed or, don't feel like, don't worry so much, I should say, that the other person's going to abandon you, because that's what makes these connections so important, is like by being open and honest, you'd be surprised sometimes, like, because I feel like this is a situation where you are mirroring each other. It's a very deep bond, a very deep connection, and you've likely known that since the beginning, that it was a little bit different, a different feeling, like the love was already there, if that makes sense. And so that can feel really confusing, especially if you've not had a situation or a friendship or a relationship like that before. So if that applies to you, look at this. It's a tremendously loving relationship, and if you go into the flow of it and express what you have in your heart, and the other person feels safe to do so too, and I think it'll go back and forth, to be honest. Like sometimes you will, sometimes they will. I really feel like a nice connection can grow out of this. Really nice. Yeah, blossoming. I love how the cards are just like totally confirming everything I'm saying. But you need to reach out, and you will have that opportunity in February. That's what it feels like. But again, advice: shift the focus. Don't focus on the insignificant stuff that bothered you. Like, unless it's consistently, like unless, if somebody was late once, like let it go. Yes, it could be just, you could say you felt disrespected, but if it's a continuing offense, then say something. But if it happened once and you're, harboring it, let it go. It's not worth it, Don't be afraid to reach out and speak. Look at this, success and growth. I can't make this up. You got a lot of really, and healing. Yes. Remember I said it, this is a soul connection, very deep. It brings up things from the past. But look at this. This guy's got chains on him, right? And he's releasing the chains. And when you are in a soul bond whether it's romantic, friendship, whatever, that happens. Like you meet someone, they bring up the shadow. They bring things up about the past, not to hurt us or cause us pain, but it's to hold up the mirror and be like, look, I'm here too. I know, I've been there. I get it. That's the point. They're supposed to trigger us, these soul connections. They're supposed to trigger you. They're supposed to trigger learning. They're supposed to trigger forgiveness. They're supposed to trigger abandonment issues, all kinds of stuff, Libra. So I feel like for February, you have the potential to have a beautifully soul satisfying connection, but you really have to be willing to go into the heart, get out of the mind and go into the heart, Libra. I know you're a very intellectual sign. And it's sometimes emotions can be difficult for you because you feel a lot, but have the wrong way of, not the wrong way, sorry, a different way of expressing them. And sometimes it's not really understood by the other party. So keeping that in mind and just being direct, like to be direct, it's very important to be direct. Being indirect will not serve you in this connection. I'm just going to tell you because it has like its own timetable. So just be as direct as possible, but be direct with love. And not focusing on the insignificant. But this feels really nice. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull a few cards here from my Romance Angels deck by Doreen Virtue, which this is like one of her only decks that I won't get rid of just because I like it. I feel like when it comes to love and intimacy readings, this is a good one. Wedding. Okay. This situation involves marriage. That may not be for all of you. Could be just for some of you, maybe even only one of you. Could be that okay, I'm getting another message here. Someone watching, or someone's watching, I should say, could be involved already with somebody, and then you met someone else, and they like took your breath away, and this was like, you feel like this is the love of your lifetime, or this past life connection, and you really want to explore it, and you're not sure what to do. I feel like this is kind of telling you to follow your gut because this is someone that you've been with before. And so you recognize them and that this could actually be a very potentially positive connection. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. Let's do one more. Reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Okay, wow, Libra. So I feel like whichever way this is taking form, whether you're in a relationship and someone new has come in that's really rocked your world, or you're just in a relationship and feeling like you want to take things to the next level, but you're scared because it's so intense, or it could be the other person that feels scared, by the way. So just flip it around as need be. But there's this element of like releasing the past, clearing your energy to make way for the new. And to, for some of you, you may even be on a break with this person because of fear, but they're going to come back in. And you have all the tools here to have a really nice connection. But you have to be willing to go the distance with it and be vulnerable and not be so scared about being abandoned. Like really opening your heart. It's going to take tremendous effort on your part to not run away because it could feel really intense for you at times. Whew, okay, Libra. This feels like a really intense reading. But I think you're going to have a very loving and it doesn't feel so passionate, but it feels very healing. Like you're going to get to a new level in a relationship. This feels really good. So anyways, make sure you click on the bell below, like, share, subscribe. If this makes sense to you, please make sure you write me in the comments. And pop back over for your March reading. If you sign up, if you subscribe, you'll be notified. Take good care of yourselves, and I will be back for your reading in March. Bye.